We're going to do a left foot braking next. Now, you might have heard about it before, but we're going to cover everything that it is used for. Obviously, it's using the left foot on the brake. We use the left foot on the brake when you were using things like the carts. It's quite natural for some people, but for others, it's not. Don't worry about the technique. It's not one of the ones we have to use when you're racing. There's quite a lot of racing drivers don't use it. So if you don't get on with the technique, don't try it. It can cause a lot of problems, but we're going to show all the advantages and disadvantages of it in the next couple of clips. From the simple idea that it takes a fraction of a second to come off the throttle onto the brake and back again if you're using your right foot. We can also use it to control the brake bias of the car, we can use it to control the rotation of the car, and we can use it to control the spin. It's different in a front and rear wheel drive car, so we're going to cover both of those. So we'll start with the left foot braking by increasing the speed through a bend. We're going to use left foot braking to change the braking bias of the car so we can increase the entry speed to the corner. You can see we're not braking as much on the rear because we have some throttle on, which reduces the rear braking, which will keep the car nice and stable on the way into the corner. So the car stays nice and flat and there's hardly any steering input. We could press the brake and throttle too hard and actually cause an understeer. So we're braking too much on the front end and it understeers, while not doing any braking on the rear end. This is quite useful for catching a spin. As you can see, we've gone sideways, caught the slide, back in line without moving the steering wheel. If we do that and release the brake when we're alongside the line we need to take, we can actually drive away in the direction we need to be travelling. When we do that at higher speed, it seems like an easy way to control the spin. If you have the balance in between these two wrong, you're going to spin. With a front wheel drive car, if you're braking and the throttle is on, you're going to be causing an oversteer, which is exactly the other way around to a rear wheel drive car. That's because we've reduced all the braking force on the front end and we're only braking on the rear end. Now if you're braking and accelerating, we can spin the rear wheels up while braking on the front end, which is normally going to make you spin even faster if you're in a rear wheel drive car. You can do left foot braking while doing heel and toe. So you can see we've come under the clutch to do our heel and toe, back to the brake and then into the corner. There's not a lot of people who can do this, and it normally affects people's braking. When you're coming into the corner, you need to make sure the car is stable and you've done your braking. All that fancy footwork only saves you 1/1000 of a second if you're lucky.